What's going on, everyone? So the NBA offseason is officially upon us, and the Los Angeles Lakers have a lot of work to do. Rob Pelinka better be in the lab, and he better be working hard. You look at this playoffs, you look at kind of the consensus, right? Because every path is very different than the previous path, right? The way that Oklahoma won is not the same way that the Boston Celtics won the previous year, or the Denver Nuggets won, the year prior, or the Golden State Warriors, or, the Milwaukee Bucks, or the Los Angeles Lakers, or the Toronto Raptors, and so on and so forth, right? Every path is different every year, but there are kind of these things these takeaways that you can kind of grasp from and learn from. And you look at a team like OKC and the Indiana Pacers, and what was the commonality? What was the kind of consensus that you can take away? Athleticism and speed out on the perimeter, right? Being relentless on the defensive side of things, right? Talk about two teams that were all season excellent defensively. Oklahoma City Thunder won that championship on their defense. They didn't shoot the ball great at all. They didn't play well at all. Except they got after it, created 22 turnovers, and took 14 more attempts than the Indiana Pacers did, which was the difference in them winning the game, right? Like, that's the difference. Building out that identity, creating that identity. Indiana had a clear identity, clear direction on what they wanted to do. Same thing with OKC, clear identity, clear direction on what they wanted to do. Lakers need to build that and create that, right? What are they as a team? It's kind of hard to create an identity last year, because you could ask, like, what was their identity last year? Well, it's hard when you go from, 4 different iterations of that team, and going from a team that's centered and built around LeBron and Anthony Davis to a team that's now centered around Luka and LeBron, right? So now you have a full offseason, full training camp. Right, coaching staff's back, right? JJ has a better kind of understanding of what he wants to do and how he wants to go about it. You're going to be able to go get those pieces based on kind of your vision and what your thoughts are, kind of solve and help some of these needs that you have. All of those things, I think, will kind of help the Lakers better carve out that identity. But beyond the identity, you need the player. You got to have the talent, right? You got to have the luxury that the Lakers have is they have 2 top 10 players, right? And on top of having 2 top 10 players, they have a top 5 player at worst in the league in Luka Doncic, who's going to be motivated, ready to go. Right? But look, the Western Conference is insanely stacked, and Luka Doncic by himself isn't enough. So you need to add those complementary pieces. But the way that the Lakers operate is not how OKC and Indiana operate. It's just not. Lakers are going to be much more half-court oriented because you have LeBron James and Luka Doncic, which is fine. But again, you need the pieces on the defensive side. You need the shooting. You need the complementary players that can kind of build out. Right? But you also need that speed and that athleticism. I've talked about this literally for years. That what did the Lakers need? Athleticism out on the perimeter. Athleticism alone. Obviously, look, you need legit two-way guys and shooting and all that other stuff. No doubt about it. But just to get some real athletes, guys that can really, that just athletic, that can just get out there and defend, would do wonders for this team. Wonders. Especially with Luka now, because Luka is such a good offensive engine and can create so much offense on his own. Right? Like, now you don't, yes, I mean, you still want the shooting around him, but you're not as desperate for it as you were prior, right? Just adding athleticism would, again, completely turn this team around. You can add some athletes that are legit two-way guys. Talk another day, right? Like, this would be fantastic, right? Problem is the Lakers, yes, they have one-dimensional players, but they have one-dimensional players that aren't great athletes. I mean, they're great athletes compared to, you and I, right? Like, but compared to by NBA standards, they're not, right? Like, so having a guy in a Rui Hachimura, it's like, okay, well, he's playing out of position, not really athletic. Yes, he give you the offensive side of things, but what about the defense side of things? Okay, well, who's next to him? Oh, you have Austin Reeves next to him. Okay, Like defensively, that's not. You have no athletic. Okay, all right. Well, oh wait, you have Luka. So your three primary defensive, point of attack options are all non-athletic, offensive oriented players. Okay, well, man, you must have an elite defensive center. Oh, it's Jackson Hayes, and then you don't have a center outside of that. Okay, well, so then who's your at? Oh, it's LeBron James. Oh, by the way, LeBron James is 40 in year 22, right? It's like year 21, I guess at the time. Right? It's like you're asking, like, you have to essentially be perfect every night. Something we talked about heading into that plus. So why didn't I want to play Minnesota ground one? I didn't mind playing Minnesota eventually because I think the Lakers would have figured some stuff out. But that's why I didn't want to play Minnesota. Because again, the Lakers they didn't have I didn't trust them enough to be perfect every night. And you saw that they weren't. And it cost them. Right? So again, the Lakers have a lot of work to do this offseason. They need to kind of figure some stuff out and carve some stuff out. But in the same breath, right? Like, I don't think that they're far away. Got to solve the center position. You got to solve, at least two perimeter guys. But I don't think they need a complete roster rehaul or anything like that. Even with the Kevin Durant, Houston trade. Obviously, we'll see what other moves and trades. And, all of a sudden, Houston gets Giannis. Could change things, right? But assuming that nothing insane happens, I still think, Lakers are right in the mix. I think you need to make some moves. But I do think you can take some notes from a team like OKC. You can take some notes from a team like Indiana, right? Like, there's a clear path and direction. Obviously, again, Lakers are not going to be OKC. Lakers are not going to be Indiana. They're not going to play and operate and have the same things, and they're not going to build their roster the same and all that. They're not going to be coasted. There's a lot of things that are going to be different. But again, there are consensus and there are these commonalities that you saw, and that is athleticism out on the perimeter, relentless defense at the point of attack, and just getting in literally being in the opponent's shirt, right? Like, just essentially being one entity because you're just on them and hounding them the entirety of the game. Lakers need that. You need to get some defense out on the perimeter. You need to get some athleticism out on the perimeter, whether it's free agency, whether it's trades, whatever it is, you have to solve it, right? And, again, this was an interesting offseason for the Lakers, right? Like, it was a big roller coaster full of surprises, but at the end of the day, Lakers, I do believe, are right there. I think they're in the mix. A couple key moves, we're in business. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.